Is Trump going to run in 2024? It's a question that many are pondering, with people dissecting every Truth Social message, every Fox interview, to see just whether or not he'll finally drop everything and enter the race. The problem being that even if Trump does throw his hat into the ring, as is expected, he is facing an uphill battle, so much so that some are questioning just whether a 2024 Trump might already be doomed. The most obvious issue that's already weakening Trump's possible campaign is about 6 things. We're talking about 6 investigations Trump faces, ranging from the Mar A Lago document debacle through to January the 6th and the civil fraud lawsuit in the state of New York. Let's start with the most recent one and work backwards, starting with the civil fraud lawsuit launched in the state of New York. Last week, New York's Attorney General Letitia James announced that following a 3-year investigation into the Trump Organization and its officers, a civil lawsuit for fraud would be launched against the organization and 6 officials, including the organization's key financial personnel, as well as Ivanka, Eric, Donald Trump Jr., and, of course, the former president. James and the state of New York alleges that the Trump Organization undertook a truly staggering campaign of manipulating asset valuations to either increase access to finance or slash their tax bill. James is seeking a permanent ban on Trump and his 3 children from serving as executives in any company in New York, as well as banning the Trump Organization from engaging in real estate transactions in New York for 5 years. But just the Letitia James suit wouldn't be catastrophic for Trump politically. Yes, worst comes to worst, the Trump Organization might struggle to refinance some debts, but a bit of money trouble hasn't stopped Trump before. The key headache for Trump isn't one single investigation or inquiry, it's the confluence of all of them. Beyond the most recent civil suit, Trump is facing criminal investigations by Manhattan over alleged fraud and tax evasion. The House Congressional Committee investigation on January the 6th Capitol attack, another possible criminal investigation into January the 6th, an upcoming investigation relating to voter fraud in Georgia, and the criminal investigation into whether he mishandled classified documents by flying home to his Mar A Lago estate with thousands of documents owned by the federal government, including hundreds with classification markings. All of this has raised the question as to whether Trump can stand from a legal perspective, and then whether he has the political capital to do so. And to be honest, the answer isn't super clear. The main issue, legally speaking, for Trump at the moment is the Mar A Lago document debacle. The FBI raided Trump's estate in search of documents, classified or otherwise, that ought to have been returned to the National Archives, as stipulated by the President Records Act. Trump's actions, according to the FBI and DOJ, contravenes US Code Title 18, Section 2071, entitled the Concealment, Removal or Mutilation Generally. The long and short of that law is that if a person willfully and unlawfully conceals, removes, mutilates, obliterates or destroys any record, proceeding, map, book, paper, document, filed or deposited in any public office, can be fined or imprisoned for up to 3 years, and crucially becomes disqualified from holding any office under the United States. Something some have argued could, by the spirit of the law, bar Trump from running again. The problem being the good old American Constitution. Others argued that 18 U.S.C. Section 2071 is unlikely to apply or survive any kind of appeal, given the Constitution sets a number of simple requirements: that a candidate must be a natural-born citizen, aged at least 35 years old, and been a resident of the US for at least 14 years, all of which Trump continues to tick off. Part of the problem with a 2024 bid from Trump isn't even necessarily to do with Trump in the first place. Rather, the problem is Republican-shaped, in particular Liz Cheney-shaped. For those of you who don't know, Liz Cheney is a bit of an estranged Republican. The daughter of the former vice president under Bush, Dick Cheney, she is vice chair of the January the 6th Congressional Committee and has, quite publicly, criticised the insurrection at the Capitol. something that ultimately led to her losing her seat in Congress, following a Republican primary where she was defeated by a pro-Trump challenger. With some free time on her hands coming up, many are now expecting Cheney to ultimately throw her hat into the ring, in a bid to, as she said when she conceded defeat, ensure Trump is never again anywhere near the Oval Office. And I mean it. And while she isn't expected to come close to winning if she does, the expectation from people hyping her up is that she doesn't actually need to win to stop Trump. The hope is that if Cheney runs as a third candidate, she can split the Republican vote between the moderate elements of the Republican Party and the more extreme elements. If this were to happen, Trump would likely not gain enough support to win the election. All in all, it comes down to whether Trump's core supporters simply have the numbers to ignore the sheer baggage at play here. As The Economist eloquently highlights, despite years of legal jeopardy, no one can credibly challenge Mr. Trump's hold over the Republican Party. Enough of his supporters see him as a latter-day Job, and they hope that their hero has the same happy ending. After a long despondency, restoration to a glory even greater than before. The question here being whether the restoration comes before the impending retribution from civil, criminal, and congressional opponents. So it's not exactly all hunky-dory. In fact, it's all pretty miserable for Trump fans. So if you want cheering up, then we have a bunch more fun videos too, like our team attempting the British citizenship test.
I just don't care. This sort of stuff is so it's completely irrelevant.
Dame Ellen MacArthur.
I'm going to go with Francis Drake.
MacArthur.
Dame Ellen MacArthur. Francis Drake, but... I mean, the answer is true, isn't it? But it's just not true.
Who knows that? Who actually knows that? Our blooper reel, our office tour, and our interview with TV expert Scott Bryan about why Piers Morgan and Talk TV are failing. All of those videos are exclusive to the streaming service we made with our creator friends, Nebula. Now, don't worry, I know times are tough, and that's why it's good that Nebula is about $1 a month if you sign up to the Nebula Curiosity Stream bundle. Here's how it works. We reached out to the good old chaps at Curiosity Stream and said, hey, you have a superb streaming service full of some of the most high-quality documentaries available online. You want to team up? They emailed back saying, you mean highest quality? But sure. Now, I don't always appreciate pedantry, but they're right, and they put forward an offer we couldn't refuse. They said that anyone who signed up to their streaming service using this link, it's in the description, don't worry, would also get access to Nebula totally free. Now, I like free things, so we said yes. So if you click the link below, you'll pay less than $15 a year for Curiosity Stream and Nebula. That's just over $1 a month. So get yourself exclusive TLDR videos, which will never come to YouTube, all our videos ad-free, and some videos earlier than they come out to YouTube. Sign up now. For legal reasons, this exchange is entirely fictional, and I honestly don't know how the deal was done. I'm not a legal kind of guy, so I wasn't in the room when it happened. Also, just because I made this up doesn't mean the videos aren't true. Everything else I say is 100% accurate, okay? Regardless, you should sign up.